Hey, welcome back. This is Coach Charlie from the 8 Limbs Academy. Today we're going to be working on our rear low kicks. I've been very fortunate to train with two different, very accomplished low kickers, and they throw two different, completely different styles of low kick. The first one I'm going to refer to as I kick at or I lash at the leg, and the second one I'm going to chop down onto the leg. I refer to both of these in class all the time, and I just feel like there's just different applications for both of them. So the first, I'm going to talk about lashing at the kick. What I want to do is I want to push off my back foot and let my hips snap over as I kind of hop over my footwork. All I'm going to do is just kind of turn my foot over to let my hip go through. So the footwork is pretty simple, just here. Push off my back foot, boom, boom. And this kick goes at the leg. It doesn't come down on top of it. There's not a lot of time to whip your arm across, so oftentimes just kind of keep my hands up in front of my head as opposed to doing anything different with my guard. The second is just a little bit more complex. Again, I really want to think about pushing off my back foot, and I want to drive my leg all the way. I want to come above the target and sink down onto it. So again, I'm going to push off my back foot and step, but I'm still going to use a pivot like I would with my midline kick, and I'm going to come above the target and I'm going to swing down on top of it. Boom. So that's the footwork. Let's get into a little bit more of where the kick lands and how the kick lands. All right, so for the second part, I drew a little line on a foam roller 1 to 3 inches above my knee, right above this kind of really meaty part, right onto the IT band is where I want to land. So when I throw my low kick, that's our target. So we're throwing, right now I'm throwing my rear low kick at my opponent's lead leg. So when I throw this, the first low kick, I'm kind of kicking at, and it's a much more direct, fast, snappy low kick. It could be argued this doesn't create as much damage, but the fact that it's easier to land and you can throw it with a lot more Okay, so what you can see now is I've got this foam roller and I've drawn a white line, a chalk line, about 1 to 3 inches above my knee. Right above this kind of meaty part is the target. So I'm throwing my rear low kick at my opponent's lead leg, right 1 to 3 inches above their knee to the outside 45 degree, right where their IT band is. The first one that I'm going to reference is that kick that's more at, or I'm going to lash my kick at it. It can be argued that this isn't as damaging, but you can throw it with so much more frequency and a little bit less setup, and it's a much quicker low kick that I find that if we go after this in the first 1 or 2 rounds when somebody is a lot more alert, I'll have a little bit more success as opposed to the third round where I can go big and really arc over at it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch my hips over, push off my back foot, and I'm not going to come really above it. I'm just going to go right at it. As opposed to my second low kick, where I'm really going to kind of dive bomb over top of it. I'm going to step, and I really want to drive down onto it. Boom. So when I kick through it, I want everyone to watch this foot. When I kick through it, I'm going to let my heel pivot. Let my heel come through as I pivot on the ball of my foot. So I'm just going to do this once, and then we'll move on to the bags. So I step, boom. By the time I've hit and I've made connection, my heel is facing my opponent. So the first kick that we're going to be throwing is more of that lashing low kick. So I'm going to lash my leg in and really want to whip my foot right back out for a lot of speed, because I want to be able to throw this with quite a bit of frequency, and I can use this to counter, and that's just a really quick snap over. Since we're in boxing range when we throw this low kick, you have to make sure that we do one of two things. We keep our hands up when we throw the low kick, or we just dip our head off the center line as we whip our arm. When we throw the big arcing low kick, we're turning so much that we're getting our head off the center line, and that's our defense. It's not so much here. So you have to really make a conscious effort to bring your chin off the center line or throw it with your hands up as that kick lands. So remember, lash in, lash out. I'm inside of boxing range, so my hands need to stay up, or when I throw the kick, I just need to dip my head off the center line, meaning my chin gets off the center line. So push off your back foot, stomp that foot over, and lash it right back out. You're going to be in the same place you were just a moment ago. So it's good to have consistency when you're kicking, and when you throw your kicks, you should try to make a divot in the bag so you hit the same spot every time. So now we're going to throw that bigger arcing low kick. So now I'm actually going to be coming above the target, and I'm going to smash down on it. Arguably, this is a harder, more powerful low kick, but it's a little bit harder to land because it's a bigger, more dramatic kick. So this time I'm going to step off the center line, I'm going to pivot, and I'm going to come above the target, I'm going to swing down. So, they both have their uses, they're both extremely practical, and I talk about both of them in class all the time. One last thing we're going to do is we're going to hop back over to the other room. I'm going to show you a little bit more footwork, and then that'll be that. All right, so let's talk about what happens after you throw your low kick. When we throw the lashing low kick where we go out and back, I'm going to stay basically in my guard. We're inside of my little square. So I throw it, bang, and I can come right back. Boom. Boom, boom. Or if someone's coming forward, I can bang. But the whole time I'm going to be staying basically in the same place. When I throw my big arcing low kick, I really want to push off my back foot, which just naturally gets me out of this box. And when I land, I don't want to come back to the place I just was. It's okay for me to travel, bang. And then once I've landed the low kick, it's okay if I land out over here. That's no problem. If you ever create an angle on somebody, right, if I finish here, it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to walk back to where I just was. Stay on that angle and then just keep working from that angle. All right, everybody. I hope that all made sense. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.